good evening, or morning, or afternoon, whatever. Welcome to another free English class on how to improve and moving from B1 into B2 level. Today we're going to take a closer look at when do we use the gerund or ing form or the infinitive form with to in English. And yes, Novella Benedetti is my name and I'm your English coach as usual. Why is this topic so important? Well, especially if you're a native Italian speaker, this topic might be quite confusing because in Italian sometimes we translate the ing form with an infinitive or the other way around. So it's not so clear the distinction between the two, and it's important to take a moment and have a look at it. By the way, please feel free to go also on my website if you're watching this video on YouTube, because on my website www.novellabenedetti.it you can find the same explanation but written in Italian. So if you're Italian mother tongue speaker, you might find it easier. And you will also find a PDF which you can download for free anytime you want, with some exercises to practice, and of course the keys to the exercises. Having said all this, let's start. First thing you need to remember is that there are four aspects that you need to consider when you are about to decide whether to use a gerund or whether to use an infinitive form. So, number one, some verbs want to be followed only by other verbs with infinitive form. As you may guess, number two, some verbs want to be followed by other verbs only in the gerund form. Can you guess what's coming next? Number three, some verbs don't care. So after these verbs you can use ing or infinitive with to. It's absolutely the same. And last but not least, in some cases, when after some words, some verbs, you use ing or the infinitive form, the meaning of the sentence changes. And those are the most complicated ones, as you may guess, because the others, yes, it's always difficult to memorize new rules, but when it comes to learning by heart, then it's, as you learn by heart, there's really no shortcut to it, unfortunately. I wish there was. Would be a polyglot by then if there was. So let's start with the first kind of verbs, the first type, the verbs that only want to be followed by an infinitive form. So again, if you go on my blog, you can find a list of the most common, the most used ones, okay? So feel free to refer to the complete list there. But just for you to have an idea, such verbs are, for example, to decide, to want, to learn, to promise, to need, to seem. Okay, all those verbs only want an infinitive verb afterwards. So, for example, I don't know, I need to go to the supermarket tomorrow. I want to watch TV later. Okay, we managed to clean the house before mother arrived. Okay, so some verbs only want the infinitive form, easy peasy. Some other verbs, and here we come to rule number two, or aspect number two to be remembered. Some verbs only want the gerund form with ing. Again, on my blog you can find a list with the most common ones, but just for you to have an example, all the verbs like yes, to like, to hate, to enjoy, prefer to have the ing form. Then you have some other verb like, I don't know, to miss, to suggest, bother, avoid, Yes, all these verbs want to have ing form. So, for example, he avoided spending the whole afternoon doing nothing. Um, yeah, so with love and like and dislike, I have heard some objections to that. For example, I love eating pizza. Pizza always is always a good solution, by the way. I love eating pizza on Saturday or Sunday night, whatever. If you watch TV series, you hear a lot of time, I love to eat pizza. I like to play football and not I like playing. Um, I've searched a lot in order to provide you with a clear answer, but to be completely honest, I couldn't find any. According to some explanation, I love to eat pizza is more US American English, while I love eating pizza is more British English. Some other website or resources state that it depends on whether you're speaking generally or more specifically, but to be honest, I couldn't find a clear and reasonable explanation to that, I'm afraid. So I will just say the following. Normally, when you go for an English certificate, so you want to have some kind of language exam or whatever, please stick with the ing form. So I love eating, I like playing, I hate well, there's nothing I hate, so I cannot find example. I hate cleaning. There you are, easy peasy. Yes. Then if you're speaking with people around and so, do as you wish and nothing will change. But please remember, this applies only to verbs such as like, dislike, love, and so on, okay? Not to the other I mentioned before, like suggest, avoid, and so on. Then, number 3, we have some verbs that can be followed really either by ing or the infinitive form. They do not care, they are not sensitive, and nothing happens. So you can really use whatever you prefer. And these verbs are only 3, so it's quite easy to remember. And they are to begin, to continue, and to start. Okay, to begin or to start and to continue. So with these 3, whatever you use, it's okay. And now we come to the not so easy peasy ones. Number 4. Number 4, it's about those verbs who change the meaning of the sentence according to whether you use ing, gerund form, or the infinitive form. Okay? So, for example, the verb, I don't know, to forget, to go on, to regret, to remember. So yes, if you think to forget, to remember, that you can remember them. To stop, to regret, to try, yes. Those verbs, and please refer to my website for a complete list of them. Those verbs, yes, depending on what you use afterwards, you can have a different meaning to the sentence. For example, I don't know, to go on. He went on to read the book versus he went on reading the book. So if you say he went on reading the book, it means that he was reading the book before and he continued to read the book. Okay? He went on reading the book. The ing, it's always the idea of an action in progress. If I say, however, he went on to read the book, it means that the guy, he was doing something, then he stopped doing whatever he was doing, and then he started to read the book. Okay? So he went on to read the book, he was doing something else, and then he started reading. He went on reading the book. He continued. He was reading before and he's reading now. Okay? And that's it. So that's to wrap up this free online class. Today, English-wise, we had a check on how to use the gerund ing form or the infinitive form with to. We learned that there are 4 aspects to consider. Number 1, some verbs only want to be followed by a verb with the gerund form. Some other form. Number 2, some other verbs. Number 2, wish to be followed only by verbs in the infinitive form. Number 3, some verbs can use both without changing meaning. Number 4, some verbs can use both forms but do change their meaning. By the way, I didn't speak about the rules of spelling when it comes to the ing form. Please feel free to refer to my website when you can find a list of examples on how to add ing to different verbs and how it works. Yes? Good. I hope you enjoyed this class. I hope I was able to support your learning. Whatever question you may have, feel free to write me or write a comment. Subscribe to my channel if you like it. Subscribe to the monthly newsletter Resfab in case you want to receive monthly inputs for free on how to improve your English. And yes, this was Novella, your English coach, and I'll see you for our next class next month.